Hello and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons, and unfortunately lose recordings to OBS being a pain in my ass. Previously, we're actually not going to talk too much about the last session because we'll surprise the people who were missing last session, but they're currently in the Elvenwild trying to infiltrate the palace, or what remains of the palace. The palace, for those who have approached it, is kind of horrific, but we'll get to that. They got separated from Darvin, Alice, and Remy when they were in the process of heading in that general direction after a fight with some of the local wildlife. And all I will say about the previous session is things got interesting. Not combat-y interesting, but take your heart and twist it around and wad it up and chuck it in the garbage kind of interesting. But they're still currently, they're about within sight of the castle, just about. Their trip took a little less time than they expected for wibbly-wobbly reasons. But let's deal with Alice, Remy, and Darvin, who we'll gloss over parts of this because thankfully you have a monk with you, and she's pretty observant, so it's kind of knowing when to stop, when to just let's go around a little ways. But within not too far from where you perceive the palace would probably be, because you've gone a little bit out of your way, and you guys have seen illusions before. Some were made to look like reality, and some were very much designed to know that it's an illusion, so you don't do anything stupid. Kind of the hologram, part see-through kind of thing. That, one of those sort of pops up in front of you. And while it's largely grayscale, does appear to be the Lady Emavela. The one the one who's apparently Astra. I've set this to speak to some of those annoying little adventurers, should they happen to come anywhere near the palace at the moment. First of all, do have fun, and I'm blaming you for most of this. If you hadn't turned up asking for help from us of all people, as if we would, they wouldn't have decided to, I believe the term I've heard used at least once is, go nuclear on the place.
Oh, it's really good that this is not here.
But if you're heading in the direction of the palace, there are going to be some places that aren't touched by this nonsense. And if they are, I would recommend none of you touch them, because they were mine, they were blood-warded, and anyone not blood-related to me will die, painfully, should they touch my things. The half-breed can probably manage. It'll sting, but she'll survive it. So if you actually need anything of mine, well, I'd prefer you not touch anything, but trying to get through that is going to ruin my shoes at minimum. Have fun, and do be aware you did earn this. Yeah. I'm gonna have to tell Hazel about this, aren't I?
Maybe don't mention the very false accusation of blame she's making, but yes, we need to tell her about the blood ward.
Yeah, it's not a we thing, it's just I know you two. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, it's Hazel. She's gonna ask just so she has an excuse to be more angry. She at least knows to channel it in appropriate directions.
True. very true.
Honestly, I would have preferred being attacked by more giant spiders than listen to that, but hey. Yeah, not too long later, it holds up a hand and you guys have. It's probably only Rylan because Rylan is Rylan, and Rylan of that group has the highest passive perception, who's heard the bit of rustling, and specifically, there's not a lot of light giving anything in this forest right now, which is sad for you, frankly, but there's a little glimmer over there, which probably means that's Alice, Remy, and Darvin coming back. So you see that just around the point when you hear hello.
Oh, thank God! Actual good news.
Kind of, yeah. And then gestures,
Thank
come on, guys.
God.
Yes.
Whichever one happens to be passing, Hazel. You know, I'd say obviously Paylor, but Paylor is probably kind of looking at this whole place like, damn the divine gate, why can I not just set fire to the whole thing? But that's why he's got you.
Walk in
So
the sun and the sun burns all evil.
yeah, that's gonna take some significant fire. So
Good.
so you guys okay? There's some looks. I'm not sure what to make of the looks.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm going to say say it the dumb way, so that everyone else can puzzle out the rest of it. That device that they're planning to set off is such a thing of such a problem that it's causing time warps by being here.
Sure he is. Specifically because this soul taint doesn't entirely understand concepts like time, space, mass, physiology, things along those lines. Its presence tends to warp things. So we were treated to various versions of what might happen to this place in the future. Like physically living it.
Walking from one timeline to another. Very, very literally.
Did you folks experience any of that?
No, we got Hazel's aunt. Well, a simulacrum of Hazel's aunt.
Wait, you mean spell? You mean that spell that makes copies of people?
Not really. It was more of a kind of an illusion thing that really wanted us to know that it was an illusion. Probably so we didn't stick a sword in it.
Oh. Oh, so she...
Yeah, it was kind of a glorified magic mouth.
Blech.
Yeah,
The
pretty
message
much.
for us.
Yeah, basically, if we find anything that's not touched by Soul Taint, Hazel, you've got to be the one to pick it. Apparently, she's blood warded the place, and it might hurt, but it'll kill any of the rest of us.
Wait. She did what? She made it so... What? Touching anything? Picking anything?
There-
We're talking the plants?
any-
Or just stuff?
Both, probably. Anything. She said anything that's not tainted.
And especially things that are hers, apparently.
Well, that's
No, she-
that's what she said. Anything that is untainted is hers because it's been kept from the taint by this blood ward thing she was talking about.
You know, this makes me want to punch her, but then I think, wait, no, the fact that I'm going to be touching her shit is going to be suffering enough.
She did have a bit of a smirk at the fact that it's going to hurt.
Like you
Yeah,
can
well,
throw
I
her
can
shoes
heal.
into a puddle of something.
Yeah. I mean, she hasn't got any more pleasant, put it that way, and she still hasn't mastered her name.
Also, bonus, the fact that we could probably subsequently break or use up her stuff.
I think she's probably given up her stuff anyway, because it's something about walking in to get it would wreck her shoes at minimum.
Well, here's hoping if she ever gets released, she gets released without her shoes.
Released from what?
Wherever the hell they shoved her into, the box that the village has her hanging in. What I'm saying is if she's ever allowed to go free and isn't just stuck in the box for the rest of eternity because she deserves that. No, she put me in a box. She gets to stay in the box. But if she ever gets out, well, she doesn't deserve to have anything.
Maybe not deserve, but I'd rather her have clothes because I don't really want to watch her walking around naked. Not my thing.
Yeah, I'd rather just remove every form of dignity she could possibly have. Hell, if it were possible, I'd ask for something to burn away her ability to do magic.
Yeah, we're gonna get off that subject, so I'm sorry, what do you mean walking from timeline to timeline? Hazel, the telling...
Literally walking from timeline to
Yes,
timeline.
I was just...
walk a few meters, and we'd be and we would wander into an area that was, I guess, from another time, the same place, but not now. And we ran into possible futures.
Out of
As a
character.
result.
Out of character. You said last session that when everyone was together, you wanted to see if you could do the hero's feast thing, and the Hand of Fate absolutely adores you. You can.
Look,
so this story can be told while cooking happens.
Yeah. We probably need food, and this is also a reason for me to try to cast something.
Okay, so yes, others get to tell stories because it's Forest. How do we know what the timelines were? Cherie is pulling what ingredients she can find out of a bag of holding in various storage bags.
We saw some of the half-home kids, but older.
All the way out here?
Mm-hmm.
What were they doing out here?
Adventuring.
Doing what they do best.
It's basically the first version we saw. I guess it was the best timeline. They were happy, we were alive and doing our own thing, and everything was fine. And then we wandered into another one, which basically was the opposite.
To elaborate a little on the first one, because the second one is going to be a little more painful, and details might be nice to have just on a what trajectory we should be aiming for kind of thing. We didn't just trip over the older half-heart children. Rylan caught Evan trying another reverse pickpocket maneuver.
You know, I was gonna wait to say that.
Okay, fair enough, but all the same. And to be honest, you should have spoken right up about it, because it takes a significant amount of presence of mind to not get pickpocketed or reverse pickpocketed by the younger version. Never mind the older one.
And I just take out the bag of squidgy bears he left me.
Perhaps Darwin should have those to replace the ones he threw at the marsh witch.
You want?
And he's looking at it like, wait, so this came from the time... Wow. What? Okay, when you said physically and warping and all, you weren't kidding. Oh, you were physically actually...
Mm-hmm.
What?
This-
He puts it... carefully puts it away, but he's still kind of got this gobsmacked look in his face, because out of character even, I'm like, what the heck?
In that particular timeline, Skylar did, for reasons that we didn't quite get, decided not to go along the Oath of Vengeance. As I understand it, she was mostly wandering the country to various people, individuals, sapient beings, who still worship Tiamat, and encouraging them to worship Bahamut instead.
Spreading the good word of Bahamut by force if necessary.
I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't probably wind up doing the same, but I'm not going to say I wouldn't, so I understand. I mean, good on her.
Oh, yeah, and as I say, everyone was doing particularly well. Should have seen Barnabas's expression when they told us that we'd invited them to the wedding. His ears just went boink. It was adorable.
It was, yeah.
It's
I make no apologies for it.
and you should. This is. We appreciate you laughter. This is your adorable laughter, so you're just going to have to put up with it because you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to the Cupcake Coterie. We have adorable shenanigans constantly.
In between best and worst, however, we did get what is probably worst still, which we kind of glossed over. We got what happened if it goes off.
Shattered Lands is an understatement, by the way. The ground came apart underneath us when we walked.
It was more when we jumped because we were exerting pressure and.
Well, it wasn't solid, and what was past that down was just magic.
Just magic, probably. It had very much mutated the local wildlife, and we don't really know how far it spread because we just wanted to get out of it as quickly as possible, with our lives intact.
Yeah, because dying in an alternate timeline because of a divinely empowered thaumaturgical explosive is not something we want to do.
And it would probably assure us that that actually happens. We don't want it to happen, so we need to survive to make it stop. And yes, then there was the worst timeline. That one we got alerted to their presence by Ramas firing an arrow a couple of centimeters from one of our heads. We had clearly stopped the explosive, but none of us were alive. They were the survivors.
It was pretty harrowing, to be honest.
In both cases, they had Molly Cathay with them taking readings. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was the same kids. It was Ramas, Dawn, Candor, Skylar, Evan, and Molly.
Either way,
And yeah,
Dawn goes cleric of Palor because of you two. Pointing at Ava and Hazel. Something about her two favorite sisters. So, but yes, one was far more hopeful than the other.
and they were barely surviving, really. Well, doing better than, people who hadn't grown up in a family full of,
Adventurers.
adventurers or potential adventurers. So, but
Yes.
pretty bleak.
There wasn't a great deal to forage, obviously. The land was blighted as far as anyone could see.
And they said that it was now the area was where they were, when they were, was a wellspring. Tiamat running about 2/3 of the continent, I believe they said. So,
Equitas still more or less holding on. But Equitas would. They didn't happen. They didn't happen to mention how we died. They just said we had. I have a feeling that was an assumption because they obviously didn't see us die, and no one was giving them details.
we didn't come back, they said.
So they waited until they grew up and picked up where we left off. Just with a far greater handicap.
We left them a bit of food, but that was all we could do for them. And had to leave.
So, I hope mostly we had to leave, so hopefully they won't exist. So,
One thing we can definitely hold to is that none of those futures are assured in any one way. Let's make our own.
and all I say is, yeah, but I'm still shooting for the first one you talked about. You know, maybe not the specifics, but the generalities sounded pretty good to me.
Oh yeah.
And we need to at least avoid the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, obviously, while that conversation has been going on, it was setting up the fire and using the ingredients, and Shree, by and large, helping or at least instructing. And this should not have been possible because it's not in an oven of any kind, but when you take the lid off the war cauldron, what you have is gawumpki. Hazel has never actually tried it, so she has no idea what it is.
Oh. What? Magic.
Yeah.
Alice says, "What is it?"
It's called Gawumki. How to describe it? It's basically stuffed cabbage rolls covered in tomato-based sauce with it's usually a meat stuffing, and it's some real good home cooking stuff that takes me back to when I was a kid.
Well, in this case, it's minced beef, so.
Mm.
I mean, I figured the magic would compensate for the fact that we didn't have an oven.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I was right. So, yes, Amberian slash Ravnican cuisine for you all. And add a character, the benefits of a hero's feast. If Hazel wants to roll for the hit point maximum, the temporary hit point. Nice.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, after food. Because you've obviously haven't gone quite up to the palace because there's a fair bit of clear space, or non-tree related space between the the keep walls and the forest line. So you wouldn't have wanted to do this out in the open. Right. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you, Shuri and Hazel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at least, if we have to deal with any more great googly screeching nightmare engines, it won't.
Every little helps because I got an aerial look, but it ain't good. Put it to you that way. It just is not. It's me saying it that it's impossible to describe.
Male shit.
But you're gonna see for yourselves anyway, so maybe, I mean, I didn't see anyone guarding the outside perimeter, so we might want to head just to the tree line and have a look. See if anyone can think of any halfway decent approach.
Yeah, we can probably come up with better once we actually see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. Off we go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very far to the edge of the tree line, but peering around the tree, the footprint of the keep hasn't changed, you don't think. It's a little hard to tell from the ground. The beautiful white wood castle isn't. The shape isn't even quite the same. It's like bits of it were twisted and bent at angles that should not be. At least the towers that you're looking at. There's splotches of the soul taint. In some cases, you're not sure if it's keeping the twisted buildings up. But the whole place is not just malevolent and kind of gross. It also hurts your brain a little bit looking at it because that's not architecture. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Too many levels of headache. And that's just from looking at it.
I don't know what we're gonna find when we're inside, but we can't access the garden any other way but through the palace. Yeah, risking another look, you'll find that the gates, they're also twisted and wrong, but in a way that's working for you because they haven't really shut. It'd be a bit of a squeeze for Barnabas, but you could get through. You know, Barnabas would have to turn sideways, suck in, and scrunch, 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 but then Alice doesn't
He'll
have
probably
to.
just he'll
Alice,
just probably teleport through it.
yeah, well, it's a good thing that the two people who have the biggest significant problems with issues of that kind have other means. Yeah, you're not seeing any external guard. You're seeing some puddles that you're not 100% sure are soul taint or mud or even really puddles. You do know some of them are kind of moving, squirming a little. So, but they don't really look like oozes either. So you're really just not sure. That's the whole problem. Nothing in what you're looking at when it comes to the palace area is staying still.
Oh, the Shadowlands is creepy. The Shadowlands were creepy.
Shadow fell.
But Shadowlands.
She had the right idea. Terminology is not all that important. Though I have a feeling that we can thank the Shadowfell for part of this.
Now, when it comes to planes,
I'm also wondering how much down this goes. I seem to remember you guys talking about sub-basement storage rooms and things like that. I wonder if any further excavation has been going on.
that would depend on where they were digging the hole.
All I know is that there's a lot of, from what Rylan has always said, there's a lot of Underdark down there.
Oh, so that brush is almost gray. Great. That's...
And if this place was going to be a wellspring, or might be a wellspring, who's to say they haven't dug that far?
Probably wouldn't have to dig that far since it sounds like those start down there.
Yeah, but they I am hoping they'd have to dig a little farther than the local Underdark where the Dwergar and the Drow are. But then again, the Drow are almost universally tainted now anyway. Apart from like one or two that managed to escape it. I'm getting real fucking sick of the whole genocide aspect here.
Yeah, understandable. I'd like to actually meet the people as they were and not have to contend with, people we give a shit about vanishing and mass death and all this horrible crap.
I mean, that's the Drow, the Azamar, the Silver Dragonborn, but they're probably aiming for the rest, given what Draconians are made of.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, since everything keeps moving around, we kind of... I don't see any way of not just walking in.
No, I didn't either. The only thing that I can do to help is aerial scouting. But the layout of the castle is too twisted for me to get much of a view of how to get to the gardens from there.
I can pass it out trace, but I'm not sure how helpful it'll be.
I don't imagine it would, particularly given that we don't know how much of that soul taint is in.
Yeah, at this point, the only
Clump-
way that I could think of us going directly to it is just by hitting the walls until they fall over.
Yeah, I don't know how much the soul taint is holding those walls together.
Exactly. So we just kind of have to blunder forward and hope we don't hit stupid.
Yeah, the only problem with Pass Without Trace is it means we clump together.
Yeah, that's also true.
It's really easy for one area of effect spell.
Yeah.
In some places, we might not even be able to clump that much. There's some narrow ass corridors in there. At least that's the indication I got when I was being dragged around it. Okay, well, soonest begun, soonest done.
Just push on through.
To be fair, there's another reason to be going in there. We could at least get some information about what the fuck is going on right now. How much they know. And maybe...
Let's get this future play on the road.
I was just gonna say, just to finish up, if the bomb has ended up here, or near to here, which it must have done if it's bending local space-time, they might know where. If we can beat them to it, maybe they won't just... Because if they jump on the Aranese brigade, they're probably going to set it off.
Bud. And reality breaks.
Yeah, so if we beat them there, maybe we don't have Shattered Lands 2 Arcane Boogaloo.
This is gonna be real freaking awkward because we're functionally on the same side as Aaron's pile of lunatics, but they're trying to do it in the way that ruins it for everyone.
Yeah.
And I hate that because that technically means we are right now stuck protecting the goo.
Look at it as we're protecting the world. The goo is incidental. And from what you guys said you saw, it doesn't entirely remove the goo anyway.
Yeah.
Out of character, had we established if we knew a way to disarm the thing? Or we just...
This is the first time anyone has actually mentioned that in, like, a month. To be fair, I think it's only been mentioned once since you guys learned of its existence. So, no one has ever discussed how to disarm the fucking thing. No one asked Molly how to disarm the fucking thing. Everybody was just so keen on finding it that we didn't talk about what we were going to do with it when we did.
Oh my.
First objective was getting a mitts on.
Well, to be fair, nobody seems to be thinking about this. Alright, up until Ava has that pained look on her face.
Guys? We've been focused on finding this thing. What do we do with it when we do find it?
First, we try to make sure no one else can get to it and blow it up. We have to secure it first. After that, we have to kind of figure things out as we go.
If we can't teleport it, how are you going to move it anywhere?
Well, we don't move it.
Then we need to know how to
Somebody has
disarm
to go
it
move a
before we
person
find it.
Alice is like, okay, wait,
Yeah,
just
I mean,
wait just a second. The main reason I didn't ask about any of this is because I thought we had that covered. We have a piece of jewelry that will absorb an obscene amount, apparently, of radiant energy. If we give it
Yep.
to somebody who is naturally resistant to radiant damage, we probably could set it off and just absorb the whole mess.
Mm.
But you guys would have to be well fucking back when that happened.
Okay, that's as good a plan as any.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was we really didn't.
We got real unspoken plan up in here.
We're kind of good at that, where we can just sort of intuit,
Sure,
even if we're really bad at explaining it, and thereby actually coordinating any of it.
sure he is actually. No, it seems to be more that Alice is very good at looking at where your plan is lacking and compensating accordingly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely
but
it.
she's part of the gaggle, so call that her intuiting it.
Pretty much, yes. As a matter of, in case it matters to you at all, I did ask Molly about this. She didn't know because she couldn't actually see the bomb. However, according to her notes, it's entirely possible they don't have a disarm function on it. They don't.
Knowing the amount of crazy?
That's the thing. They don't want anyone stopping them from carrying out their grand plan. If they die, they die. Not overly familiar with the
So-
fanatic.
That's just great.
I was just about to say. You clearly haven't met the true fanatics.
Yeah, if everybody thinks I'm zealous,
No, you're zealous, they're fanatical. There's a difference.
It's subtle, but it's there.
It's not that subtle.
No, the difference between the two. That's
Right.
No, he's right. It's not that subtle. Zealous is far more concerned about the lives of others. And their own, frankly, because if they die, they can't worship anymore. And also, zealots have a tendency to actually listen to the actual god rather than just what they think the god should be doing at any particular time.
yeah, we might be pushy, but when Paylor says jump, we don't even ask how high. We just get into the air and stay there.
Get in the air, hover, and await further instructions, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not... thank you, though, Ava, for bringing that up. At least you now have a plan. And Alice says, because Hazel had them in her bag of holding, so just gimme.
Mm-hmm.
Producing the artifact pieces.
Yeah.
If those spontaneously fuse together when you do that,
No, they just seem to hang where they're supposed to.
no.
No.
I'm telling if
Yeah.
if those things start doing anything else weird when you do what we're probably gonna have to do, well, people are gonna need that written down, so we'll have to figure that out later.
Well, somebody's just going to have to take notes from whatever distance you manage to get.
Babe,
Haunted. I have a job.
You always have a job. You are note keeper, sneaky sod, and hazel wrangler.
Not so good at the hazel wrangling, to be fair.
You're way better than everyone else.
I was gonna say, I think you're selling yourself short.
Honestly, the only reason you're not particularly good at hazel wrangling is because you think what she's doing is cute and or interesting and you're curious about how it will work. Which is why you have Alice, who is the guiding leash on the both of you.
I'm an enabler.
So it really is the devil on one side and the angel on the other.
Sounds
very
about right.
literally, and I think that freaking rules.
we've had a laugh. This is good. We're probably gonna need it.
Yeah, we will.
Time to get this, again, future play on the road.
Smushes Hazel's face. Shush you. Coming out of the tree line. Yeah, it's having the trees as they were overhead was ominous. Having nothing over your heads is worse. Weirdly, there was too little space and now there's too much space. You see what I mean? Of course, there's also a lot of looking down because even looking close up, you're still not 100% sure what that is. It's like there's what Rylan in particular, given the passive perception, might identify as bits of bone in some of them. So you're not entirely sure whether that used to be beasts, that used to be people, but they also start very, very slowly inching in your general direction, the group. So again, it's only the high passive perception who are necessarily noticing it because they are moving very slowly. They have not figured out how being meat jelly works.
That's not supposed to happen.
There's a lot that's not supposed to happen, but mostly it's keep moving. We can definitely outpace the meat ooze.
I'm not gonna ask.
I hadn't even noticed
Is
until you said those
never-
words. And we just go.
You're
Never
walking as you
combination.
happen. It's just you need to know that it has intentions towards us.
Intentional meat ooze.
Yeah, that makes it even worse.
I don't like it any more than the rest of you do. Shall we?
Like I say, you are doing this while you're walking.
Yes.
Alice,
Sounds like a dish from the Blind Harpy.
the blind harpy didn't bother naming its dishes, as far as I can tell.
Fair point.
They had two options: like it or lump it. Y'all should have probably lumped it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did.
Well, you weren't even there. They went the first time at the blind harpy.
Oh,
When it
Was-
was still standing.
Yeah, when it wasn't when it wasn't full of equally intentional meat. It reached its full grotesquerie potential.
Out of character.
Turns a
Barnabas
phrase
that was
we
never.
end up with.
Barnabas was never there while it was an actual operation. Right?
No, because they went to the blind harpy on their way to their first trip to Equitas. They were
what I thought.
they were with a caravan. It was taking various bits of wheat through like grazing and stuff, and yeah, there was the blind harpy. I would have been much more interested in seeing some of you guys going through nonsense of the blind harpy than Sigwald. I'll tell you that much. I know.
I swear, with all the talk about this place, I'm glad I never was there when it was in operation because I probably have burned it down.
It might have been more helpful to all concerned, given what happened when we actually went there when it wasn't still a going concern.
Yeah, it's just true.
Yeah, by this point you've reached the warped and twisted gates. Alice is like, I'm just gonna go over and give you a whistle if the coast is clear.
Wait.
Yeah, so Barnabas is the first one to, because he would have to peer into Point. Yeah, the courtyard is there's more meat ooze. There's You've probably seen at least some modern art. I'm sure there are some individuals in Ravnica who are very interested in some of the more grotesquerie things. There are somebody apparently decided to put together new creations based on various beings' skeletons. Seems to be held together with a combination of soul taint and sinew. One of them appears to be a harp. The rest you're just not entirely sure. They are on plinths. Those plinths used to be like bits of wagon and things along those lines. So this is deliberate. This is very, very deliberate. It is. Damien Hirst wishes he was this disturbing. Mostly because in this case, somebody actually apparently thought this was beautiful. So yeah, when Barnabas points into that, what's the first reaction?
I hate. That's blasphemy. That is fleshcraft. Burn it, 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 burn it.
Barnabas's exact reaction when pointing into that. By the way, I like the fact that we all agreeing that point is the appropriate word for the large man teleporting.
Well, if it was clarity, it'd be Banff.
Right, exactly. But his literal reaction is draws weapons.
I don't think any of them are going to move, but if they do, it's good to be prepared. And yeah, that's
Right.
when you guys are. It's like, what the fuck? And as you're inching in through the gap, and you all start seeing that.
Why does this keep getting worse?
Blasphemy, fleshcraft, blasphemy, fleshcraft. Burn it, 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 burn it.
Hand over Hazel's mouth. Burn it. We cannot afford to call that much attention to ourselves.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's set against Hazel palm, against Alice's palm, so it's. Yeah. Okay, there you go. I know this is just one more reason for you to want to set the place on fire. But we can't do that yet.
Let's do what we came here to do.
We're heading in that direction.
Keyword though, yet. We have something to look forward to, Hazel.
Yeah.
We will be able to cleanse this, hopefully.
The intentional meat jelly is also still kind of. It's like slugs with bits of bones. And while the fleshcraft doesn't get off its plinths at any point, the bits that might be skulls of something, that's the approximate shape you're getting, the heads do turn in your direction.
No, stay.
Yeah, when Clarity says that, some of them don't even have lower jaws, but the ones that do open them, and each and every one of these flesh art abominations starts cackling. It's a meaty,
I am chock full of milk.
gurgly. It's a gurgly, bubbly sort of cackling
I'm Darwin.
from all
Just
angles.
like, I am chock full of milk.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, still moving. Still moving. It's just you have that ringing in your ears until you reach the main gates, which are not as conveniently open. These are well shut, and you don't think they're sealed shut with the soul taint, but they're still very large, very sturdy doors, and you're not sure they're barred or not. I'll say grabs, pulls. Definitely locked. Well, we've got a couple of options. We can try a window, or we can see how strong I really am.
You think it's barred,
See-
not just a lock?
I'm pretty given the amount to give when pushed, I'm pretty sure it's a bar. Probably wood,
I
might be
vote
metal.
window. As much as I like the idea of kicking the door in, I think we still need to at least stay somewhat.
It's all still cackling, by the way.
Somewhat quiet, despite that
Yeah.
happening.
I think that's out the window at this point.
Well,
We can put it to a vote for preference. Who wants door? Who wants window?
Honestly,
Whichever's
Honestly,
quieter.
the main reason I'm thinking door is because if we have to leave in a hurry,
Yeah.
True.
how
door would be best.
how would you want to do it? Having us dive single file out a window? That would involve leaving people behind, and we hate doing
All of
that.
us barreling out a door.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Door wins.
Hey. And one of the good things about having wings is that if you want to kick a door down, you can use both feet and still have a whole bunch of oomph behind it. And because, again, my dice are fucking insane. Very, very, and, monk. Crack! And just nudge, eep. And then you hear, as you push the door open, the 2 bits of wood just clunk, clunk.
I love you. You're terrifying.
Yeah, but at least I'm only terrifying to individuals and things that inconvenience you. Yeah, the entry hall.
Please don't stop. Hoping there's no more creepy shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're entirely off on that hope. You can hope all you want, but this is creepy damn central. Not only
Yeah.
are there yet
Shit central.
yeah, not only are there more flesh crafted art pieces, they also pick up the laughing.
Oh god.
You best be believing in creepy shit stories.
Oh dear God.
I'm sorry. My thing is, I'm just glad none of you are quite as bad at horror as Travis Willingham. Can you imagine what his reaction would be to this?
Oh god, yeah.
Screaming.
Yep.
Paranoia.
Very much.
Vibrating
Very
much.
in the air.
Very much screaming.
This is being made even worse for me because of my history with Brian Lumley writing. That's all I'm going to say. There's one particular book you do not want to go anywhere near.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I might, but that's me.
This is one of the rare times where I don't know who that is, and I'm probably sure that's a good thing.
Look, South Korean horror is my lullaby when I can't sleep. So.
Short. We feed whatever that is to Tess. Give her a thumbs up and just giggle the entire time.
And all I'll say is, right, that way, I think is the... Because we want to get out of here as fast as possible, I'm assuming.
Yes, please.
Okay, if I remember right, the corridor we're about to approach is kind of narrow. So it's probably going to be a single file-ish kind of situation. It's like maybe 2 of us at a time will fit. So can we get a marching order?
Yep.
I'll be towards the front.
Yeah, I'll probably be around the middle.
I think Barnabas would probably be the best point man, just biggest, toughest.
Not necessarily. You'd probably want Alice or Remy for that for one good reason. The lighting's not great in here.
Okay, then Barnabas will be the rear guard.
Yes, Barnabas is very good at being the rear guard, also partially because he's also got the most mobility.
Mm-hmm.
So if he needs to be at the front, he can be at the front. Or he can have an echo of him at the front. Okay, so... Yeah, are we 1x1ing it or 2x2ing it?
Whichever fits, I guess.
Darvin just looks over at Ava. It sticks out his elbow. Like,
One by one, I guess.
Well, it looks like 2x2. So Remy and
shall we?
Remy, yeah. Sorry. Darvin and Ava are both going to regret that bullshit. So let's see. We have
Probably, but
so let me set things up as well as I can here. So it was Remy and Alice in the front rank. Clarity wanted to be toward the front, so Clarity and Hazel, I'm assuming, in the second bit. Darvin and Ava. Arm in uncomfortable arm. Given that Cherie puts us at slightly uneven, Cherie's gonna stick with Rylan as the casters needing to be in the middle of meat shield sandwich. And Barnabas at the rear. And yeah, you...
Plus Barnabas would probably be a bit too big for two people to fit anyway.
Well, it's big enough for two people. It's thing is that this is a narrow corridor, about 10 feet across, so you couldn't fit three people unless you were scrunched. But as you're walking along the corridor, and LSA is very careful about this, and Rylan is also feeling it's not anything they're hearing or seeing beyond, oh, okay, that's not even black shit. That's some kind of mold. Because that's the other problem. The first thing you're noticing is that the entire corridor seems to be upside down. Chandeliers are stuck to the floor, and the furniture is sticking to the ceiling.
Oh.
And it's pretty much as you're looking at that, that the Draconians pretty much appear out of nowhere, which is why Alice was kind of hesitant. And given that we're about at the break time, when we come back, we will roll initiative and see how you do in tight quarters.
Oh boy.
Yay, asshole brigade arrived.
And we're back in about to be a close quarters fight with a bunch of Draconians. And I think the absolute worst part for these guys, and I'm going to drop this hint to you early, is keep in mind this might not be the only encounter you have in this situation. Just to make sure you get that. Okay, so I would like you all to roll initiative. For pity's sake.
Oh no.
Some of that sounded unfortunate. Okay,
well, average, thankfully.
Could be worse.
Now I'm doubly glad the feast got applied.
Mm-hmm.
oh, sweet Jesus. I keep forgetting what my fucking initiative modifier is for Alice.
Initiative mod of yes.
Six.
Jeez
Great.
Louise.
Come to Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So we have. Oh my God. I see why now.
Mhm.
And actually, I need to roll for these assholes. So that's. Okay, so ow. Oh, that's not fun. Thankfully, I don't have a whole lot of modifier to this. And you. Okay. Now I've got all my numbers. I can. Yeah, that just hurts. That just fucking hurts. I am so sorry. So let's see. That's. Clarity. Me. Okay. So that's LSA, Darwin, Clarity, Hazel, Remy, Rylan, Sheree, Barnabas, Ava. I actually got everybody this time. Huzzah! Right. As an aside, I think your freedom of movement would have worn off by this point, by the way. Okay, what is LSA gonna do? Gonna hold on to spell slots for now. Think so. Gonna use mobile flourish on. We'll step up to this Yahoo. Because of how fucking course it is. Yeah, okay. That's number one. You've gone 5 feet backwards. Boink. And rolling damages. Damage is going to be fun. So that's Dreadnought number 1 for checking. Oh, that's maths. 10, 15, 21, 29. Step back forward again. Attack number 2. Yeah, but it's less damage this time, but still. Yeah, LSA just kind of waded in and fucked shit up. This particular individual, you're not sure what kind of draconian it is, but you have seen them before. Remy wasn't involved in the in the fight in Avernus, but those of you who were recognize these things, have some very vague understanding of what they do, and more to the point, that they explode. Darvin and Remy don't really understand that they explode. Neither do... Well, Cherie does, because she was there. Alice does not. She might. To be honest, you don't know. She was there, but she might not remember all that much. Why are you there? Darvin. Yeah, Darvin knows nothing except these are fucked up looking... they're like Dragonborn, but really fucked up.
Okay. Previous to anything, Darvin is going to shout toward Remy. Remy, when you wade in, do what you do best. And throwing an inspiration die at them.
Okay.
And given I am where I am, I'm going to stay put and extricate my arm from Ava as quickly as I can, and I'll do magic missile at base level.
Hang on, I'm gonna hand to Fate this because again, wait a minute, hold it because.
Yeah. Sorry, no, it's the lag.
Sorry. Okay. It's just I'm going to hand to Fate this because extricating your arm could theoretically count as an action, which is why I said you were going to regret that.
Good point.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Hand of Fate doesn't like you very much. So you can have the bonus action, but you're like, is it because you're in a pretty narrow corridor, so you're just nah. And you also probably don't want to touch any of the mold-looking crap that's on the walls.
Yeah, no.
So you've dropped the inspiration die and
managed to.
And you'll be ready for your next go. Clarity.
Okay. So yeah, pulling my arm out and then realizing how much time and crap.
Who got the inspiration?
And that's it.
Remy. Are either of those two in front considered engaged with Alice or no?
The one that she's rapidly turning into mince is.
Okay. I would like to target that one and do some daggering.
Okay.
Let's see. 24.
That hits.
For 7 piercing and sneak attack.
Yeah,
21.
No, that one went right between its eyes because you underestimate just how much Alice fucked this thing up.
No.
Like,
it just happens.
Yeah, like just the straight up attack nearly killed it. That was overkill, like on multiple levels of overkill. But yeah, no, the other one is not really engaged with Alice. It's to be honest, it's probably more looking at Rylan at this point.
Okay. And then I will do my second attack.
I'm
Here we
sorry,
go again.
they hate you. Do
I'm
you
aware.
not
What I
understand?
got myself into. I am aware.
That does hit roll damage.
Oh, wait. Okay. Nope.
Oh no,
that
wait.
wasn't a
Sorry, that was your sneak
Yeah.
attack. Sorry. It still hits.
25 with the acid dagger
Uh,
for 6 and 2.
uh,
And I will do an offhand as well.
well, I mean 6 anyway.
15?
Nope.
Okay.
Definitely not. Yeah, the acid doesn't seem to be doing anything to them, just by the way.
All right. Good
Like,
to know.
at all. And then there's this Yahoo towards the back. Yeah, I can't quite get to Rylan. There's a winged thing in the way. Doesn't really like those either. Oh, their multi-attack is unpleasant.
Oh no.
That misses. Fuck. Double fuck. You don't have to roll this nicely when I'm rolling for the enemy. So yeah, that's a crit. So 2d8 plus 4. I got my d8s out. Oh, come on, get fucked! 16, 18, okay, so, ow. And then, on top of that, tail attack. Rolling. Double fuck. DC strength check. Oh, come on. So, yeah, that's another 10 points, and Alice is knocked prone. Manages to catch the first one, gouged into her shoulder with the second, and then whap, feet out from under her. Hazel.
I get committing to the bit, but good gods, you're overcommitting, Alice.
I understood
Okay.
none of that.
Can I get to right behind her?
Yep, you just kind of gotta, excuse me. And incidentally, you can just about, because all of all of the gunk, this qualifies as difficult terrain.
Oh, great.
I was worried about that.
We have the distance for it, and we're still close in enough, and we haven't gotten bombarded, so I'm just going to go and say upcast Cure Wounds at 4th level on Alice.
Okay.
So it's 4th level, so
Yeah, that'll
6 more HP.
that'll get most of it.
And me, that's also about 6.
Yeah, that's your action. Bonus action.
Bonus action. Unfortunately, no. That's nothing for me. So just gonna run up and big heal.
Okay, Remy. Oh, I forgot. You can go away. You don't exist. Well, you're kind of a corpse on the floor. But I'm still gonna move it because it'll get confusing otherwise. Anyway,
And you will step up.
boink.
She will put Channel Divinity on it to give herself an advantage.
Okay.
And I am going to flag up the although you don't need it. Never
Yeah,
mind.
So, what inspiration? This is a paladin.
Paladin who's stealing my dice luck tonight.
And then she will
This happens to
smite.
me too.
Shut up and let.
Is this fiendish?
No.
Okay.
These to clarify for you are monstrosities.
Okay.
Yeah, no. That's
Sweet mother.
Paladins,
Well.
mag dumping.
Yep.
Oh
Was
yes.
so that's
10d8?
Sick.
Holy
She will
crap.
push into the next one.
yeah,
My
the one that did just fuck up your wife. Okay,
Yes.
That makes sense.
that definitely hits. Roll damage. Yes.
And
Okay.
that'll be it.
Okay. Cool. So that's
Don't F with the paladin.
you're gone. Okay.
And even worse, don't F with the paladin's wifey.
Mhm.
Okay. Rylan.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to gauge because line of sight is going to be kind of difficult.
Yeah, you're kind of peering between Darwin and Ava at this point. The last time you tried really was one of the one that Remy just one-shotted, glaring at you like we want you to die. The one that's taken its place doesn't seem to be any better.
Perfectly fine by me. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. It's still within exactly 30 feet, which is very convenient for the...
Keep in mind difficult terrain. Oh no, you're.
Oh, I'm
you're,
not moving.
You're,
I'm
you're spell
ranging for
casting.
a spell.
Yeah, I was just okay. Cool. Yes.
I'm ranging for a spell because they're looking at me funny, so I'm gonna start doing a blasting
Okay.
on the one in front of Remy
Yeah.
for
Okay.
reference.
Okay. I kind of figured.
Ooh, first blast is a 17.
No.
Second is come on, an 18.
That hits.
Okay. Get the... It's fine. I get a third one. It's fine.
Come on.
Oh.
Damage, you're fine.
It's fine.
Just trolling at that point. Ooh,
There we
there
go.
you go.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
An extra little wallop to the face. But that is, I'm staying back here. They're looking at me funny. I'm not moving.
Okay. It's Cherie's turn. What
Pew pew.
does Cherie want to do at this point? We're not doing too badly insofar as spell slots are concerned. So we're gonna upcast magic missile at to third level. So that's a +3. Oh, so that's additional bolt. So 1d4 plus 1 force to each target. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 19. Sure, Barnabas, like I say, is starting to get used to what she's about to cast based on which bit of her charm bracelet she touches before she points a hand. And yeah, that's magic missile. It sort of literally does the wanted curve of bolt and wink. Barnabas.
He's gonna. He doesn't want. He's gonna.
I should flag up. Technically, where you're standing right now. You're outside the room.
Gotcha. Well, he's gonna create the echo right there, but otherwise hold just because he doesn't want anybody sneaking up from behind on us.
Okay.
The range of the echo is only 15 feet, which is why it's not further up ahead.
Yep. Okay, Ava.
Are the two in the very back also looking funny at riding?
To be fair, they're a little too far away to tell.
Oh, okay. Well, since I'm not sure, I will grab my holy symbol and cast Shield of Faith on Rylan.
Okay.
That's an extra 2 to your AC.
Definitely going to be helpful.
Okay, so that's your bonus action.
I can't do a cantrip, can I?
I don't think so. No.
Don't know if we want to. I don't know if we should make the noise with my gun.
It's up to you, but we kind of gotta keep.
Yeah. Go on then. I will fire at the one in the back.
Which one? The one with wings or the one without wings?
Wait.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you.
Damn it.
Yeah, the first one you appear to have pissed it off. The second one did basically nothing.
Yep. Oh well.
Okay, so of course this is not difficult terrain to these bunch of assholes. Just as an FYI. So oh, there's something I did not entirely deal with. I will say it'd have to be at disadvantage. So this is mostly Hazel, Remy. I am going to need well, actually no, thankfully it's only 2 because you're immune to being frightened anyway. So I will require 2 dexterity saving throws from Remy and Hazel.
Ah, cool, sorry. Oh no.
Hazel gets +3. On Remy's aura.
Wow. So that cracks 20 on both cases for me.
Yeah, which means that Hazel is actually the well. You're the only one that avoided both. So that's 2, 3. Got D6 here.
Both of. Now I'm wondering both of what? Oh God.
This is fire damage. So that's so for the first one, both Remy and Alice take 11 points of fire damage.
Oh right, they blow up.
And the second one,
Yeah, I
5.
kept forgetting that too.
Second one, 5 for a grand total of 16. Oh no, wait, because that's halved. So that's no, I halved it. Never mind. Still, grand total 16. Fine, good, yes. Okay. I only say this because we are now at the even more annoying one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, we're about there. Oh yeah, 15-foot cone. So some of you are really fucking lucky. I would like, yeah, it's Hazel, Remy, and Alice to make me a Constitution saving throws, please. Thankfully, I don't take.
They both get +3.
That cracks me into 15.
Well, that has saved you somewhat. And saved Alice somewhat, not so much Remy. So that's a lot of D6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna have to roll one of them again. So 10, 16, 17. 1. So for Hazel and Alice, 11 points of poison damage.
Oh, jeez.
For Remy, 21 points of poison damage and 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh no.
Oh,
I thought the hero's feast counteracted poison as well as frightened.
Oh right.
I was about to say.
Okay, well, it doesn't do anything about the exhaustion though.
Nope.
Wouldn't have thought.
Immune to poison condition. Not
Oh, it's
necessarily
immune.
damage.
Oh, it's. Oh, I see.
Poison and being frightened.
Yeah, but that's conditions, not damage.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference between.
my bad,
There's a
my
difference
bad,
between
my bad.
poison the damage type and poisoned the condition. In the case of the level of
Sorry, I didn't
exhaustion,
realize. You're right. I'm sorry.
What was the damage number?
21.
Okay.
Yeah, your speed is reduced by 5 feet. And any D20 test is reduced by 2. So, attacks, saves, everything. I will try to recall this. And unfortunately, that's not all it's got. That's 3, holy fuck. We'll go for one of you each. So, Hazel. That just definitely misses for Remy. What's your AC? Remy?
21.
Shit. So that's... Where's my D10s? Where's my d10s? That's 10 points of force damage.
Okay.
And LSA, which is having to do at disadvantage because she's prone. Both of them were shit. Okay, she's fine. She's good. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of that. And now for winged individual number 2. Oh. He really is a bit of a bitch, isn't he? I'm gonna land right about there. This time, he gets advantage. Still, they're still not keen on Rylan, but that's in the way. The big white winged's in the way. What the fuck is her AC now? Whew, okay. 1. Thankfully, Wing has been getting in the way, so it's trying with the stabbing, but probably between Remy and shooing off with Wing, she's okay. Top of the round, she uses the rest of her movement to stand up. Well, half of her movement to stand up. Honestly, she isn't too much worried about this guy. She's worried about this one with the magics. So, what we're going to do now... Blade Flourish stuff. And hit it with a slashing flourish, or attempt to. Yeah, no, we're good, so that's extra damage. And we're also going to... try to staggering smite this motherfucker, because I've hit, I can now do the thing. So, wisdom saving throw for it. Nope. So that's 4d6 psychic damage. 18 on top of... Fuck, where'd the d8s go? There went the d8s. Okay, so that's... I fucked that up most egregiously. And, pretty much stunned half to death, but she's still gonna try and attack it anyway. It's cocked. Yeah, okay, good. It's looking incredibly bad, but it's not quite dead yet. Darvin.
Phew. Okay. Well, now having extricated himself from Ava, sorry, Ava, I will go ahead and fling, because I'm not going to try to get through all of that to get up close. So, fling out magic missile at base level. So give me one moment and let me get to my tab with my character sheet. Just double check. 3. Okay. Sorry, I momentarily couldn't remember how many it was.
Oh,
So
I could
darts.
have told you because I just looked it up, but anyway.
Oh, my bad. Well, let me actually reference my character sheet. 1, 2.
Who are you Who are you aiming at? With or without
I
wings?
was aiming at the winged one.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. That's
With.
that's the bit you didn't mention. So yeah. So that's
My bad.
Hey, bonus action?
No.
Okay, clarity.
No, Remy's still got the inspiration die, and that's it.
Okay, clarity. We can't hear you. You're muted.
You muted, Kayla. Muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Which one is the one that's most hurt?
It's the one behind the one with the wings.
Okay. I will aim at the one with wings.
Okay.
First one.
No.
15. No. What color is the one with the wings?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
For draconians, they're all a sort of an off gray. These aren't dragonborn. They're different.
Okay.
You do remember that the acid did not work.
Right. I will try my.
To be fair, you're smart. You probably know that with something like this, particularly if it spits poison, it's probably immune to poison too.
Okay. I will do my bleeding dagger.
Okay. Nope.
And offhand. No.
You're trying not to hit Hazel because there's a big green bow in the way.
Little bit.
Dagger's not working.
Yeah, and this is an this is an unhappy winged bullshit thing. So stop rolling quite that well. Knock it off. Okay. I would really, really, really appreciate it if you would stop murdering the Azamar. They panic when you murder the Azamar. Well, you do. That's 13. Oh, this is starting to get problematic. Attack number 2. That's cocked. Fuck! This is not a crit again. Shit. Okay, can we miss the tail strike now? My God, I hate you. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna only have to start using that die for Alice because it's fucking me right up now. See, sometimes my dice rolling really well is really shitty for me. Yeah, and Alice's on the floor again, and actually, wait a minute. Doing my maths. Actually, yeah, I think she's actually on the floor for a number of reasons, because she was kind of owed to begin with. Fuck. Yeah, no, that's one unconscious Alice. Huzzah. Hazel! Hey, at least if they're attacking Alice, they're not attacking Rylan. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, and they're both on the ground.
What do you mean both? Remy's up. It's just Alice who is on the floor.
No. I did not. No, I'm not talking about Alice and Remy.
Okay.
Talking about the two jackasses.
Okay.
Those two being where they are. Okay, so did Alice get?
Alice unconscious. Pretty much by the damage that she took when she got her feet knocked out from under her and hit the floor. But she was in rough shape before then.
All that's holy. Stop with the aggressive jackassery. And we're gonna start with just casting mass cure wounds.
Okay.
which is to be tagging Remy, Alice, and myself.
Okay. Yeah, you guys wound up frontlining the poison breathers and all the rest of the nonsense.
That's also add another 7 to that.
Okay. Bonus action?
Let's see, and for my hold on,
Sorry.
I'm just remembering to calculate the remaining for myself, and so I gotta add an additional 7 to that.
Yeah, it's basically you get the same amount as Disciple of Life gives. It's two
Not
plus.
calculating how much Blessed Healer gives, how much I gained total, because that stacks with it for when
Yeah.
I'm casting a heal on myself.
I just figure you multiply by 2 in your head.
I'd already different order of operations.
You math how you math.
I'm back at full.
Okay. Bonus action?
That's it.
Okay. Remy.
Wing.
That definitely hits.
Your rolls, dude.
And we will smite.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, you haven't killed him, but you've made him particularly upset.
And one more.
Okay. That definitely hits. Okay. Yeah, he's still alive. Just about.
Mm-hmm.
Rylan.
So you say he's still standing.
Yes. They're both still standing, but they're kind of on their last legs at this point.
Then
What was that?
That was
His laptop
Ethan.
froze.
that was
That was Ethan.
His laptop
Ethan's
froze.
Well, his turn is gone, so we're just gonna have to keep going.
show going on. 5 cents. He's just in range again. I will continue doing what I do best, which is blast into his face.
Okay. That hits.
25.
Ooh. Yeah, that gets him. Just gets him.
Okay.
Slap one like a sack of potatoes.
I don't think I'm doing anything super fancy because they're staring daggers into me, and I'm just gonna. That's me.
Okay. Next up is Cherie. Yeah, we'll spare the level 2 spell slot for another magic missile, I think, because this probably needs to be over, like, now-ish. So, where's my d4s? 3 and 4, okay. And Cherie, yet again, tap, fling, and Basically, she explodes his head because I have had enough of this. We have things. It really is just basically enough. Splat. Well, they're in our way.
Indeed.
That they were very much.
And Alice say, picking herself up off the floor again. I think they're getting a higher quality in their draconians. These might be older ones. The other ones were a bit flailier, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry about that.
Oh. The frightened you're not going to have to worry about, but yet again, Remy, Hazel, Alice again, yeah, can you, make me dex saves, please? And remember, you're at -2, Remy?
Mm-hmm.
Thank Christ.
Hazel and Alice are at +3.
Didn't need it. Thankfully y'all avoided the whole stunned thing. But oh good, I didn't put my d8s away. 4 points of lightning damage. That's new. Ow! Okay, that's a new element.
Oh, that's fantastic. They're electrified now.
Some of them, apparently.
So, Remy, are you okay?
Yeah, just a little bit singed.
Remy?
Remy
You
is
got-
at
you got
102 out of
freaking-
114.
Yeah, she's
That's
not
fine.
she's not the one that's got the problem. The one that doesn't wear armor is the one that's got the problem.
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm thinking about the save thing. Just trying to figure out how Hazel
Oh,
would
I
tell
see.
that
Wait, I
thing.
see what you mean. Yeah, you've been a little slower than normal. I think I think she's wondering if the poison it was breathing got to you.
Yeah. Did you? Because you got blasted in the face by poison breath, and that's usually more than just ow, my lungs burn. That's oh no, my organs are failing.
Don't feel like my organs are failing, at least.
Yes, you're not dead. But that's not my point. Does anything feel off after getting that much into your system?
Maybe more tired than I would expect after a skirmish.
Okay, first I'm going to be fixing up any issues Alice has got.
Start with her because we're not moving until she's less tired anyway. Actually, taps herself for 10 points, which helps somewhat.
So, okay, is this counting? This doesn't count as a poison thing. This counts as a different kind of condition.
Let me double check what exactly it.
This is a hit point maximum. Yes, you said exhaustion.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, removing exhaustion levels, finishing a long rest removes 1 of your exhaustion levels, etc. It doesn't say anything about greater or lesser restoration.
Ah, then it's great. Yeah, because the minute I realized it was exhaustion, it's a greater thing.
Yeah, because that just removes a status ailment. It doesn't matter what kind of status ailment.
Yep. All right, let's patch that back up. Come on. and grabbing a hold of amulet in middle, and then just sort of thunking the hands onto Remy's shoulder.
Yeah, your
Thank you.
your level of exhaustion is poofed.
Okay.
Okay. Next order of business.
Yeah, Alice is also.
How is it that you keep getting, despite your ability to turn these guys inside out, completely, utterly whammied?
Well, she's guzzling one of your tester potions. I think I've decided I don't like kiwi. But no, that's basically I'm getting hit, so you don't have to.
Yeah, okay, fair.
And particularly given everything in this place hates Rylan, like a lot.
Seethingly so.
So, and I seem to be next on the list. Just because I can take more of a hit than they can. And maybe not right now, but mostly. Does anybody mind if I have another one of these
No, go for it.
weird shade of purple? I just figure I
I
mean,
can do a little bit of save that.
unless Hazel's breaking out the stuff, because I don't know what else we're gonna find in here.
I can use a
Yeah,
bit
I
of
don't
healing to
think the
save
staff
spell
is-
slots.
Yeah, the staff is. I have one more full. I will have one more mass charge in it, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Like, I can do one more mass charge, but then I can't use it at all for fear of it potentially.
Yeah, and that's the
going
thing.
Ash.
That's the thing. That's when you lean on your own spells, because you'll know exactly what you need it for. And why do you need a mass anyway? Ree is pretty much okay. You now look unhurt, and nobody else got touched.
Okay, yeah, fair point. The reason I even mentioned that it's the one that's left is because I'd like to save the mass ones because I can do a lot more with those.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you handle how you handle. You're the healer. I just curious about how you went about it.
Yeah, do you want? So do you need any more
I
after the
can
potions, or
I
are you
can
good?
I can probably manage out of character. This is what Alice would say, but she's under half her normal hit points. She's 114 without the hero's feast. She's currently standing at 55.
You keep saying that.
Clarity's just
I'm
going to come
gonna-
up behind her and give her 20 lay on hands.
Ah!
You keep saying that, and this is what's going to keep happening. And I'll
Everybody
start
just
joining
group
in.
hugs her.
Ava costs an extra 14 of cure wounds.
Okay, so we're up to 89. We're probably okay. Probably.
Remy gives her 10 points of lay on hands because everybody else is 20. She can't be outside.
I didn't even need to lift the finger. I just needed to imply that you got bullied today.
As I do mine, I give her a look that's like, you do the same if you're the other way around. Just shut up and take it.
Well, that's why I didn't use all my healing hands, so, at least we've got that if anybody else falls down. But yeah, she's at just under 100, so she'll be okay. Unless she gets mass mobbed again. Yeah, so now that we're not fighting for our lives anymore, does anybody want to explain why the fuck this room is upside down?
Good question.
I just figured it was the goo doing what the goo does.
I mean, the
Everything
outside
was
looked all
looking weird from the
wonky
outside.
and- Yeah, I was going to say, the outside was all
Warping space
wonky
or
and
something.
twisted, so maybe that affected the inside.
I've gotta...
Already warping space time. I don't think figuring it out is something we can probably do afterwards.
Possibly. It just,
yes and
I mean,
yes and no, because what if that helps us find or after? If there's a specific I don't know, if there's a method to the madness.
well,
or
we
something?
can't just stand here. I have a feeling that part of the reason that there was big mess of guard is because of the cackling fleshwork grotesqueries out there.
Yep. And the longer we stand in locations like this, the more likely they're going to be able to figure out where we are.
Yeah. Are they still cackling?
Give me a perception check because you're a little out of the immediate range of them.
13.
You're not sure. There were creepy noises. They might be cackling, but they're not just coming from there. So
Oh, boy.
that's the whole problem. This whole place is basically built now to be. It's paranoia made architecture. So yeah, there might be cackling, but it might be coming from up, or maybe over there, or that's a scribbling sound, isn't it? And that's when you're like, I don't think I can listen that hard anymore. You okay?
Just a little creepy noises.
Yeah, but as far as I can tell, the ones in the main hall probably are. I don't think the ones in the courtyard still are. I just don't want to know what's living in the walls.
Nope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That seems like
Nope.
a smart thing.
Because there's skittering noises in the walls.
Yeah, I noticed those too.
If they're tiny versions of the spiders from outside, that would be
I'd be
horrifying.
more worried about rats.
Yeah, that would be worse. Well, no, it would be about equal in terms of good gods why.
No, because if this place is connected to the Underdark now, I have 2 words for you: cranium rats.
What the hells are those?
They're kind of like what would happen if you turn a rat into an illithid.
Wait, so tentacles?
More exposed brains and head fucky.
Oh, mind powers. I hate those.
They're-
I hate every concept of that because those hurt. I already don't have much going on up here. I don't need this spike.
There was that, but there was also one of the Academy people came by the Tipsy Pixie for several drinks in 2 days with Marta, and was talking about this was a story of a story, really, but apparently you remember Professor August.
Mhm.
One of her first
Scary one.
One of her first missions as troubleshooter involved a professor who apparently made his own version, either made his own version of cranium rats or decided to run experiments on the ones he already found. And I think they led him to an illithid and they ate his brain, but
Led him to one? Or
no, they were mind. The reason I say it that way because they mind controlled one of Professor August's adventurer friends, and she apparently had
the
this.
guy got brain zapped by his own experiment, and it.
Yeah, and then Professor August got the ever-living shit beaten out of her by mind-controlled artificer with lightning gauntlets.
Ugh.
Why is it whenever someone starts doing anything for science, they never stop? They're always about coulda, not shoulda.
Well,
Fuck.
that's the thing. You don't really know if you should until you do. You don't learn anything if you keep to what you think you should. I mean, beyond like moral and ethical stuff, but I think
fair.
I think Illithid's pet fancy rats is. We're not going to worry too much about the ethics of experimenting on those. We're going to worry about the suicidal stupidity of it, but not the ethics or morality. So, science apparently involves risk. And so does adventuring, so...
Yeah, we can just quote Agraf basically all day.
I think the main thing we should take away from this is let us be prepared for poisonous, combat, and weird. Lots and lots of weird. But the question I do have is that simulacrum of Astra suggested there was more in here than plants that we might want to get our hands on.
It's worth a look.
I mean, we're already
I
here.
don't know.
We should at least keep our eyes open.
I don't know. It's weird that she'd specifically say that, though. It feels more like she wants us to fall into a trap.
The thing is, what she was actually saying was she was entirely pissed off that it came to this. In fact, she blamed us for this.
Of course you did.
If we hadn't turned up asking for help they were never going to give us, she said, they wouldn't have taken the nuclear option.
Why does that sound like the exact that nuclear or whatever it is the exact kind of thing that hit
I'm paraphrasing.
Agraf-based area?
I'm paraphrasing here, mostly. It's not our usual language does not cover that as a concept. Besides, if they had traders from Ambir, they had traders from everywhere else. Point is that she hates them as much as she hates us.
She's happy for us to go into danger.
Yeah, she'd be happy if we both mutually assured destruction to each other.
Yep.
Which is why she warned us about the thing that would kill any of us but Hazel.
Double. Ugh.
I know, but if we're ever going to find out what the fuck happened, 'cause this happened so fast. There was talk of a deal, and I want to know what that deal was. Maybe we should at least look for an office.
Something that could have information.
Yeah, but on the other hand, one thing at a time, it's more of a we might have to come back. Because as much as information is good, lives depend on us actually getting. We'll see what happens when we pick up the Lady Luck. Because we can keep it safe, whatever. That's what bags of holding are for. But we need more information than we have at this point. Well, let's brace ourselves for
Moving forward.
I think one Agraffian once put it as non-Euclidean. I don't know who the fuck Euclid is, but I really didn't care that much. I wasn't usually on call for listening happily to the math geeks. Yeah, the corridors remain narrower than you actually remember, because these, when you went the first time, and Rylan wasn't with them and has never been this far into the palace, and Barnabas I don't think was with them either. Anyone who's been here before seems to remember the corridors being, at least in the main palace, being wider and grander. Of course, there's also the fact that you are, on occasion, walking on ceilings or walls. Or there's that whole funhouse thing where they paint an optical illusion on the floor that looks wibbly, but isn't. Which, anybody with not a particularly great passive perception is gonna come pretty close to twisting an ankle when trying to step down into that. It's not as obvious as, checkered. It's just the wood grain does it. It's the kind of thing that just walking through the place gives you this absolutely massive fucking headache. But eventually, you find the doors to... obviously, this is a place that's got several gardens. The kitchen garden is a little bit different than... This is somebody's private garden that Alice A is trying to point you guys towards. You don't want to see the kitchen garden. You really don't want to see the kitchen garden. Opening up the doors, and what you find is most of the ground is covered in partially exposed root and sludge. There are some benches. A couple of those are being slowly eaten by more of that sticky, difficult terrain-inducing moss. And over to the right, apparently around a sort of a corner bit, there's mushrooms. But there are 3 planters and couple of smaller planters. 2 of the big ones are triangular. One is a big rectangle directly in the way, right in front of the doors. The one nearest the mushrooms seems to be the one that's got... There's a bunch of 4-leaf clovers, but there's only 2 or 3 that are glowing faintly gold.
Well,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. As
Hazel? Should,
I'm
just
assuming
wondering
you
if
guys
Hazel
are kind of
should be the one to-
you guys are kind of at just at the doors here. How close are you going to get to those? Because that's the one you're looking at.
Fuck it. I'll go.
Okay.
I'm just-
Can you make a Constitution saving throw, please, before you even touch the damn thing?
Ow.
Yeah. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about the fear thing, which you're immune to that at the moment. That's just going near them. That near to them is 15 points of poison damage. But you're in, and I would recommend moving to quickly reach for the ones you're looking for and get out, because that will count as an action round.
Yep, I'm gonna just just grab what we came for and
Okay.
retreat.
Yep. And then it's hitting the blood ward. That is 12 points of psychic damage. But you sense you got off incredibly lucky. It only backed off because, well, you're family. But yeah, you come back out
One
sort of.
that burns. Two that feels like someone just put a spike into my skull. Ah.
Yeah, those mushrooms are giving off spores, aren't they? Shit.
Yeah, the mushrooms giving off spores I could deal with. It's that. Pretty sure that was the ward. Ah.
And
Fuckers.
as you are groaning, you just about tucked the Lady Luck into the bag of holding while rubbing your forehead with the other hand, when there is a slightly bubbly roar.
Yeah.
At about that point, the ooze starts eating into the untainted thing. So apparently, the blood wards, at least out here, aren't working anymore. And part of the reason for the strengthening of it might be that this is clearly not the ancient green dragon ruler of the Elvenwild, because let's face it, she is now. This might be one of her offspring. Unnaturally large and very, very tainted. And it lands right on the spot where they would have died to touch if the blood wars hadn't gone. You're not sure it's capable of common or it just doesn't care, but it very much intends to do its damnedest to eat you. And we are at that time, so we will deal with this in 2 weeks.
Yay.
So hey, at least you got what you came for. And so yeah, in 2 weeks you get to fight something horrific. Bye guys.